Dr. Angela Renee Jones, 226-886048, 145-580-78454. I am not sure who would have the nerve enough to think that my two numbers belong to someone else. Now, I told you that they have been using my immediate family and some of my aunts and uncles' identities as well as mine for years. They murdered my Uncle Marshall Holden Sr. and his wife Thelma Holden. Marshall Holden Sr. was 25 years in the Army and still cleared to be in the gun. They murdered him 2012. We never heard a thing, and the sad thing is that he had attempted to come and find me, and he was held hostage in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's where they cut off his head. I am told he was inside of 7 Harris Street one day when I was standing out in front of 260 Peachtree Street, which is right around the corner. When they did it, I heard some talking in my ear. So you have to verify it because it was very important. He attempted to try to bring to me some of the documents and papers and one of the guns that I needed because that was 2008. I ran for the president and the written and the black and white, and they stole that stuff from them. They got held hostage in 2012. They didn't make it. Bus that they thought would bring them there went the wrong way. Took them to Texas first. Excuse me. And they just have been held hostage. Tongue had been cut out of his mouth, and his pension had been stolen from the military and Westvaco, which was Virginia Fold and Box Company. And I had the largest shares with him there. And I think that all that have merged to be 3M. I am not sure the way they have done this stuff, but when they murdered him, they had hid in his SunTrust account 98 billion of my dollars. Now, I asked them to freeze it because it's my own real money, and I asked you to verify me because they did the same thing to my father, Aubrey James Jones Sr., which I told you we had the largest shares in 3M. And they have had him hostage for over 40 years now. They sent him to me in 2006. They had him hostage City Motel with one of the master guns. Now, I own motels. And then they had put a hookup in Park Plaza that used to be Quality Inn right there at Belvedere and Franklin Street. Thought it was called 520 Franklin Street. And I own Park Plaza, and they have failed with what they do. The rent from Park Plaza was going into my first market account that they opened that they denied me having. And it's unacceptable. They stole the whole account and then began to put large sums of my money in it. Anyway, 98 billion of my dollars in my father's SunTrust account as well. Don't belong to John Kluge. Does not belong to Tricia Kluge. And those are some of the identity thieves, Mike Olive and those kind. Jeb Bush had begun to get those straight for me. They murdered him. He was Wells Fargo as well as had been the governor of Florida before they murdered him. Was trying to get all that I call my 791 account with billions in it in Wells Fargo. People, you got to do wrong. You got to do it right. I'm sitting here in the Econo Inn needing someone to respond to me because on October the 31st, I have to go out of this room and have nowhere to go. How can that be, people? billions in the bank. I have the right to run for the President of the United States of America. I tell you that every year, every week, and I have not lost my clearance. George W. Bush Jr. has not lost his clearance, and it's not right. The people you see in the TV don't clear. What will it take, people? They are murdering us. This is not justice in America. That's why I'm not even concerned about that Black Matters mess, because that's a skit. And a lot of them not even Americans. They Africa, Bahamas, Haiti, all those places. They're professional protesters. England, even Negro Chinese. This is just a skit. COVID, Corona, a skit. This is our real lives, people. Now, this one that have come here telling me that he is not coming anymore, that brought me here. I told you to check to see if it was Colin Powell or my brother, Aubrey James Jones Jr. out of his mind, because I know it's not him. And I just went with the flow to see how far he would go. And the other two in his same 9 months. Colin Powell and those two have to stop it. And one time, the third one that came, because 3 came identical. The third one that came was one that put on the police captain shirt and things before. They're just stealing my stuff. Now, something different got to happen, people, because that guy says people have given them the Social Security card. They have given them an ID, an envelope he opened had a Social Security card, an ID, and one of my credit cards in it. Now, you swipe with my credit cards and my gift cards and then act like you're doing me a favor. Now, you're not going to come back. I asked for the purple folder. This is what I said. I need my folder myself. Got Social Security paper in it. Got my birth certificate in it. Got a letter from DMV denying me license or ID because I didn't have a Social Security card with me or another form of something. You know, I had 2 forms of address things. And so he kept the folder, but then when I asked for it, because I wanted to go to Williamsburg Road Social Security place, because they never called back. It's an emergency. When you don't have an ID or driver's license, something that you can use to cash your checks, to get on airplanes, to even get your own hotel room. It's a state of emergency. I've sat outside long enough. And too many billions, too many trillions belong to me. Lily B. Jones Foundation and SunTrust, it have trillions in it, and they belong to me. Don't say she seems to think these are two. No, those are my 2 numbers, 226-886048, 145-58078-454. November the 26th, 1958. Nobody else can be that. And it's so easy to go in with a birth certificate and a Social Security card and get an ID. When I got February the 5th, 2010, when I got a birth certificate, they said they ran off 12. They gave me 1. They ran off 12. Come on, people. They're giving me the hardest time to get this Social Security card because these folk done got IDs calling themselves me. Rosalind Gross, she got 2 identical to her. I've been knowing her since 1979, and they've been stealing since 1979. I didn't even know it. I learned it, and it has not stopped. To your member of Trinity, I ask you to verify now bank account, Bank of America, the billions in it that belong to me. This is a shame. And they that Masonic mess, and they are not trying to respond. They are trying to kill and steal and keep on living. And it's not right. I want the real president, people, already. I have the right to be it. I ask you to verify me. I'm tired of sitting here. It is a part of conspiracy to murder. They already murdered Jeb Bush. They already murdered Laura Bush. And George W. Bush Jr., the vice president, he already somewhere half dead. Murdered all of members of our family. I don't know where Jenna is. They messed up her face like they did my brother's face. They won't being nosy. We ain't in nobody else's business. We trying to mind our own, and they keep trying to be it. Now, I need somebody to respond to me tomorrow. I don't like waiting till the last minute. Waiting until the last minute is too stressful and is unnecessary because there's too much money there. And I think I have a change of plans. I like to go in Washington, D.C., get a few hotels and bring some people with me, let them know which hotels, and be there for the election. And then I need to go on to Dallas. And I have enough money. Somebody need to come show up to get that done for me. Because this is ridiculous. You can put my $1 million there. I put $1 million there for the last, 3 months? Or 4 months? It'll be 4 months each month for you to ride this bus free. GRTC. Come on, people. Pay for apartments for the next 2 years. Why you didn't get mine? I asked you to get me one before I came. You were supposed to renovate some of my houses and tell me which one to go to, or meet me, greet me, and take me there. That's why I call it part conspiracy to murder. These niggas, everything somebody get for me, they go lay their self up in it. I own those hotels. You're supposed to have me a room at the Omni. They want to lay their self up in my room, Colin Powell, and some others. It's not right. Some have to be done right away. Tired of them sticking me. Some jackass under this bed. I asked you to come take these people out of my room.